It's that time again to talk about the latest character trailers for BLEACH Rebirth of Souls. As of making this video, over 30 characters have been revealed for the game. We have about 4 weeks left, and I think we're going to get at least 4 or 5 more character trailers before the release of the game. In another recent trailer, it was also revealed that Rebirth of Souls Season Pass will feature characters from the 1000 Year Blood War arc. So fans have been speculating about which 1000 Year Blood War characters will appear as DLC within Rebirth of Souls. A lot of people want to see Yhwach as well as Ichigo with his dual Shikai as playable characters, while others want to see the Sternritter like Kilgate OP, the Bambis, or even Baz B make an appearance. So as for this video, I want to go over the latest 3 character trailers, which of course are for Ikkaku, Nnoitra, and Harribel. Be sure to stick around until the very end of this video, as I'll also be revealing the stat sheets for each of these characters and determining how easy each of them are to play. So without further delay, here is my video breaking down the recent character trailers for Rebirth of Souls. Before the video begins, only 20% of the people who actually watch my content are subscribed to the channel. If you enjoy these videos, then subscribe and stick around for more content just like this. Now let's get back to the topic of the video. So let's kick off with the character trailer for Ikkaku Madarame. I'm really pleased that the lieutenants as well as the seated officers of the Gotei 13 are getting so much love and attention within Rebirth of Souls. So Ikkaku of course is the 3rd seated officer of the 11th Division under Kinpachi Zaraki. His description is that he's the luckiest man within the Soul Society, as he is capable of overcoming powerful opponents in close range combat. He wields his Zanpakuto Hozukimaru. As the trailer showcases his Zanpakuto in its Shikai state, we first begin with his signature move titled Slayer Stance. This move, Ikkaku takes a lowered stance where he can initiate 3 types of attacks by inputting additional buttons. These attacks are a powerful sweep attack, a rush attack which closes the distance rapidly, and a counter attack which parries an opponent's attack, making the Slayer Stance an important move depending upon which situation Ikkaku is in. So we see the 3 examples here. The first is the powerful sweep, and then it's the rush attack which closes the distance, and lastly the counter attack which parries his opponent. So again, these signature moves offer Ikkaku 3 abilities via his Slayer Stance. Ikkaku's Spiritual Pressure Move 1, titled It's My Lucky Day, is an enhancement of his Slayer Stance. So apparently 3 different moves are released by inputting different additional buttons from his Slayer Stance. So you can see Ikkaku takes the Slayer Stance, but his Spiritual Pressure is higher than before, as shown with this red aura around him, as he fires off those 3 attacks, so the lunge, the long range attack, and then the parry. Then we have Spiritual Pressure Move 2, which is called Watch Closely. So for a certain period of time, Ikkaku becomes inspired. This allows him to fight with more energy, so while his Watch Closely is active, the performance of his signature move Slayer Stance and the Spiritual Pressure move It's My Lucky Day are enhanced. So it seems like with Spiritual Pressure move 2, Ikkaku further enhances his Spiritual Pressure, and we see 2 examples of attacks here, before we then cut to his Awakening. Ikkaku's Awakening is of course the release of his Bankai. So when he activates Ryomon Hozukimaru, the Ryomon gauge appears, and the more that the gauge turns red, the more damage that it will inflict on the opponent. The Ryomon gauge accumulates energy when attacking an opponent or receiving damage from an opponent. So we don't really get to see the Ryomon gauge in action, but we do see the character model of Ikkaku altered with his Bankai activated. And you can see the top blade above Ikkaku's head with the dragon completely lit up, which appears to symbolize that his Ryomon gauge is maxed out. So from the gameplay example of Ikkaku's Bankai, you can see that it's a really aggressive gameplay style focusing on close range combat. So yeah, that was the character trailer for Ikkaku, which looks very impressive. I'm so glad that they have done justice to Ikkaku's character. So he's described as somebody with a wide variety of attacks, and he is very effective at close range combat. So we do have Ikkaku's stat sheet, so we can see with his 3 lowest stats they're all equally matched with 2 points out of 5, so that's his reach, toughness, and his technique. But where Ikkaku really excels at is his power and speed, which is equally ranked at 4 points out of 5. So yeah, again, he's a character who's focused on close range combat, and he is ranked at 4 out of 5 in terms of ease of use. So the 5th Espada that's been revealed for the game is the number 5 ranking Espada Nnoitra Ikkaku. So he's described as being somebody who is obsessed with strength and he aims to become the strongest. He uses frontal attacks and relies on his steel skin to destroy his opponents. So I'm really looking forward to seeing Nnoitra's moveset for this game. So his first ability is his signature move, which is titled Hierro. This of course translates to steel skin. So Hierro appears to be a stance, and Nnoitra gains something called a block stock. So armor is added to Nnoitra's flash attack and his special flash attack, which allows him to interrupt his opponent's attack as the block stock is consumed by using it once or by being attacked. So in the example, you can see Neliel attacks Nnoitra, but he interrupts the attack followed by a series of attacks. Now next we have his spiritual pressure move 1, which is called Guillotina. So this is a move which uses his scythe as it slams down with great force against his opponent, and it will change into an unblockable attack if the input button is held down. So in the example of Guillotina, we can see Nnoitra charging this attack up as he fires it down against Neliel, and it does seem like a really strong unavoidable attack as long as that input button is held down. Then we have Spiritual Pressure move 2, which is titled Don't Run Away in Fear Now. So this attack involves Nnoitra kicking up with his right foot, and when the attack lands on the opponent, Nnoitra will slash with his scythe and activate a Sero as a follow-up attack. So this move is unblockable and it will cause a large amount of damage, but the only downside is that the reach of attack is at a short distance. So Nnoitra will have to fire this attack off at a close range. So you can see in the example, it's a series of 3 attacks with Nnoitra kicking his opponent up as he then attacks the scythe from above, as he lands on the ground and then fires the Sero. And then of course we have Nnoitra's Awakening, which is his Resurrection. So in his Awakening, Nnoitra's performance is enhanced by releasing Santa Teresa, as Nnoitra's abilities will not change significantly, but they will increase the power, which will make reversals more likely to succeed. So you can see the multiple arms and sights which Nnoitra has, as it makes it really hard to close the distance with him, as it looks like he is overpowering Neliel. So yeah, that's the character trailer for Nnoitra, another very impressive addition to Bleach Rebirth of Souls, as we're expanding upon the list of Espada who are playable in the game. So Nnoitra is characterized with his high durability and his unguardable attacks. Now thankfully I do have a character stat sheet for Nnoitra, and his lowest stats are his speed and reach with 1 out of 5 points, and his next lowest stat with 2 out of 5 points is his technique or special skills. And where Nnoitra truly excels is with his toughness and durability with his steel skin, and then with his power and attack strength with his scythe, which we had seen in those example attacks, which make it very difficult for his opponents to avoid, with his attacks doing a great deal of damage as long as they attack, with his attacks doing a great deal of damage as long as they land. Now because of his unique playstyle and moveset, he is ranked at 2 out of 5 stars for ease of use, so he's definitely a character who will be very effective as long as you learn how to play as him. This now brings us to our third and final character trailer, which we'll be breaking down, and this trailer was only revealed yesterday, and it's the 6th Espada that's been revealed in this game, and it's none other than Tia Harribel. She of course is the 3rd ranking Espada within Aizen's army. She's described as being somebody whose goal is to have a world without sacrifices, so she becomes stronger the more that she attacks her opponents with combos. So like a lot of characters who've been revealed in this game, Harribel has her own unique gauge, and this is her aura gauge. So the aura gauge accumulates when Harribel's attacks land on the opponent, and when the gauge accumulates over 50%, her attacking power increases and the performance of each of her abilities will be enhanced. So her aura gauge does deplete when she hasn't landed an attack against her opponent for a certain period of time. So this again is another unique way of incorporating the mechanics of each of these characters from the manga into the gameplay of Rebirth of Souls. So we begin with Spiritual Pressure move 1, which is called Ola Azul. This is a long range attack which charges the Spiritual Pressure to her Zanpakuto as it then fires off. The damage is not great, but it is useful to accumulate the aura gauge and to keep foes at bay from a distance. So you can see in this really cool example, Harribel accumulates Spiritual Pressure into a Zanpakuto and fires it off against Hitsugaya. So yeah, it's a great way to keep your opponent from closing in the distance with you, as it maintains that range. So the next move is Spiritual Pressure move 2, which is called I'll Show You. So this is a triple strike combo attack which executes a large rising slash. The aura gauge can be greatly accumulated if this attack lands, but it can also be guarded against, so you need to be very careful when it is activated. So you can see this attack, Harribel again charges her Zanpakuto as she then fires it up in a sweeping attack and then jumps down attacking Hitsugaya and then follows it up with a third sweeping strike. Then we have Harribel's Awakening, which is her Resurrection. So Harribel's performance is enhanced by releasing Taiburon as she activates her Resurrection. So this increases the power of her attacks, making it easier for her to push through her opponent's defenses. In addition to this, Harribel's weapon also changes from a dagger to a longsword, and this also increases the reach of her attacks, as this allows her from focusing on close range combat, extending it out to mid-range combat. So you can see she takes on her appearance in her Resurrection as she deals heavy damage against Hitsugaya. Now some fans are critical of her character design as it appears to be censored from the manga, as the Rebirth of Souls team have decided to take Harribel's costume from the anime, where her hollow mask appears to be covering her assets which weren't covered within the manga version. So yeah, that's the character trailer for Harribel. It's a nice preview glimpse into her character. I do think that we need to see a bit more to be fully sold on what she can do, as the trailer describes that she's characterized by her overwhelming, unrelenting attacks that will leave the opponent with no time to rest. So that makes it 30 characters that have been revealed for Rebirth of Souls thus far. There's been a wide variety of characters that have been shown to us. With the game releasing on the 21st of March, it means that we have just over 4 weeks, so at least 4 or 5 more character trailers we can expect to receive, bringing the total roster to at least 34 or 35 on launch day. With the season pass confirming that we're going to be getting 1000 Year Blood War characters, I do think that the complete roster could extend to up to 45 or even 50 characters, with all of the DLC that we can expect for Rebirth of Souls for the lifetime of this game. I do urge all of you to pre-order this game. I have links in the description and in the pinned comments of this video. If this game does well, then we can definitely expect a Rebirth of Souls sequel, where hopefully we'll get more characters and more story included from the Fullbring arc and the 1000 Year Blood War arc. For now, Rebirth of Souls is doing an excellent job of representing the Bleach story from the Substitute Shinigami arc all the way up until the end of the Arrancar arc. We've got a solid list of characters from Karakura Town, as well as Shinigami and Arrancars. There are various different costumes, and with Ichigo having different versions of his respective character, as well as characters having awakenings and reawakenings like Ukiura, where his Resurrection and his Segunda Etapa are represented. I do think that this game is definitely worth your time, so do be sure to pre-order it and stick around to the channel, as I'll be making way more Rebirth of Souls content as the game gets closer to releasing. For now, let me know your thoughts for these latest 3 character trailers for Ikkaku, Nnoitra and Harribel. Which character are you most excited to play as, and which character trailer had impressed you the most? Lastly, thanks for making it to the end of this video, and I cannot wait to see you in my next Bleach video.
A massive thank you goes out to all of my amazing Patreon supporters for helping to make this video possible. If you also want to support the channel and see your name in the end of my videos, then check out my Patreon, which has loads of perks like early video access and so much more. Thank you for sticking around till the end of the video, and whatever you contribute will mean a lot to me.